Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more notable names in Arab American history. Today we are looking at somebody who is actually still alive, though he's well up into his 90s. Ralph Nader. Yeah. Ralph Nader, according to the website nader.org on his biography, consumer advocate, lawyer, author, born in Winstead, Connecticut on February 27th, 1934. In 1955, he received an AB magna cum laude from Princeton University. And in 1958, received an LLB with distinction from Harvard University. So, pretty intelligent so far. Career began as a lawyer in Hartford, Connecticut in 1959. And from 1961 to 63, lectured on history and government at the University of Hartford. 1965 to 66, received the Nieman Fellows Award and named one of the 10 most outstanding young men of the year by the U.S. Junior Chamber of Commerce in 67. Between 67 and 68, returned to Princeton as a lecturer and continues to speak at colleges and universities across the U.S. In his career as a consumer advocate, he founded many organizations, including the Center for Study of Responsive Law, the Public Interest Research Group, the Center for Auto Safety, Public Citizen, Clean Water Action Project, the Disability Rights Center, the Pension Rights Center, and the Project for Corporate Responsibility, and the Multinational Monitor, a monthly magazine. But yeah, all in all, they're trying to help protect the average person. He's ran for president a number of times, unsuccessfully, however. Four-time presidential candidate, 1996, 2000, 2004, and 2008. He is the son of Lebanese immigrants and graduated Princeton, receiving a law degree from Harvard. Soon became interested in unsafe vehicle designs that led to high rates of automobile accidents and fatalities. Published the pamphlet Unsafe at Any Speed, which criticized the American auto industry in general for its unsafe products and attacked General Motors' Corvair automobile in particular. Let's see. I think it's just a pamphlet. It may be a full-on report book. Yeah, investigative report. Okay. Anyway, it became a bestseller and led directly to the passage of the 1966 National Traffic and Motor Vehicle Safety Act, which gave the government the power to enact safety standards for all automobiles sold in the U.S. You know, common sense. It's surprising how sometimes it takes a person to go, maybe we should do this. to pass common sense stuff. GM went to exceptional lengths to discredit Nader, including hiring a private detective to follow him. Nader sued for invasion of privacy, and the case was settled after GM admitted wrongdoing before a U.S. Senate committee. With the funds he receives from the lawsuit, and aided by impassioned activists who become known as Nader's Raiders, he helped establish a number of advocacy organizations, most notably Public Citizen. Nader's Raiders become involved in such issues as nuclear safety, international trade, regulation of insecticides, meat processing, pension reform, land use, and banking. So yeah, kind of regulator we needed, though a lot of companies are like, no, I don't like having to do things that make sense because they hurt my profits. Too bad. Although Nader and his associates did not invent the idea of consumer advocacy, they did radically transform its meaning, focusing on fact-finding research, analysis, and governmental lobbying for new laws on key consumer issues. Nader was also instrumental in the passage of 1988's California Proposition 103, which provided for a rollback of auto insurance rates. Goodness knows how high they would be now if something like that hadn't happened. Nader ran for president of the U.S. in 1996, but collected less than 1% of the vote. 2000, nominated by the Green Party as its U.S. presidential candidate. His campaign focused on universal health care, environmental and consumer protections, campaign finance reform, and strengthened labor rights. Realizing he had little hope of winning the election, he concentrated on obtaining 5% of the national vote, the minimum necessary to secure federal matching funds for the Green Party for future presidential campaigns. Nader eventually fell well short of this goal, receiving only 2.7% of the national vote, but he may have aided Republican candidate George W. Bush, who narrowly won the presidency over Democrat Al Gore by attracting votes that otherwise might have gone to Gore, especially in Florida. Turns out we now know there's a whole lot of chicanery that went down in that election. In 2004, despite pleas by many Democrats that he not run, Nader campaigned for the presidency as an independent. Although he received only 0.3% of the vote in that election, and his petition signatures were challenged because of the alleged use of state resources in their proceedings, he again ran for president in 2008, winning about 0.5% of the popular vote. Look, I've already said this for a while. If you get 2%, you should be able to be put on public voting registrars and be on stage for debates. Although we don't seem to have fucking sensible debates anymore. But, you know, that's the stupidity we get for putting elected dumbasses in fucking charge of dipshittery. Sorry, don't mean to get angry, get loud. So fucking fed up with the parties, though. The Republican Party that it is. In addition to its political campaigns, Nader continued his consumer activism. In the late 1990s, he became a vocal critic of Microsoft, which he claimed was a monopoly. In 2014, he launched the Ralph Nader Radio Hour, a weekly news and interview show. The following year, he realized a longtime dream as the American Museum of Tort Law opened in Winstead, Connecticut, and it was the first law museum in the U.S. And the documentary An Unreasonable Man, 2006, chronicles Nader's career. So yeah, fighting for the rights of the average people. Great, great person. Like I said, he is still alive, but he's well into his 90s now. I think he's 91. Yeah, age 91. Unfortunately, the great minds like Nader will be disappearing soon. Chomsky, Nader. Yeah. But, born February 27th, 1934 in Winstead, Connecticut, lawyer, activist, and environmentalist, author. He's ran as a Democrat for the majority of his life, but first ran as a Green Party member, then ran as a Reform Party member. Finally, since then, he's just been an independent. Served in the U.S. Army. But yeah, the unsafe at any speed is one of the big things he's known for. And really getting people involved in public regulation. It's like that has disappeared now. Yeah, his work is responsible for pointing out the dangers of the Ford Pinto, which was known, he hit it in the back, it sometimes goes boom. So yeah, or catches fire, yeah. So yeah. But his parents were from Lebanon. His mother was Rose Bouziane and father Nathra Nader, both of whom were Antiochian Greek Christian immigrants from Mount Lebanon and the Bekaa Valley in southeastern Lebanon. So, again, Lebanese. Very intelligent. Served in the U.S. Army as a cook and was posted to Fort Dix. Yeah. That gives us a good look at who Ralph Nader is as an individual. Again, a notable name in Arab American history. But we'll go ahead and end this episode there. Thank you all for watching. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. I'll be putting my sources, as always, in the description box right down there below the video. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.